What's new?
No, what's new with you guys?
Well, I don't know what's new. I mean, we've only had a couple days of practice, so I guess everything's new. But other than that, things are slowly getting back to routine, as much as you can say routine. We're still waiting on everybody to be able to go full, so we just try to manage the time that everybody's on the court, and so we have everybody on the court. It's just not everybody's out there all the time, so that might take a little bit of time to get caught up for some of them.
So what are you still waiting for?
Who are we waiting on?
Yeah.
The people that are coming off surgery, Dorka, Caroline, Aubrey. You can't just go in there and all of a sudden, not be cognizant of what happened. So we're bringing them along slowly. They're doing a lot, but they're doing it in a short period of time.
Last time we talked to you, you guys had just absorbed Paige injury news, and we're kind of settling into a new identity, new roles. Just how has everything gone the last 2-3 months with how people are feeling about the entire operation and how they fit into it? Even just like emotionally as much as logistically.
Yeah. We don't bring it up, because I think the more you talk about it, the more you put it on the front burner, and I don't want it to be there. So we don't really discuss it. We did it in the beginning. We did it when it happened, and we did the first day of school. When we talked to the team for the first time. But other than that, there hasn't been any discussion whatsoever about it. We do talk to them about roles that have to be filled and who has to do what. The danger that you run into when you do these things is somebody's out there trying to be Paige, and that's just going to screw up the whole operation. So we can't let that happen. So we're just trying to keep everybody in their normal mode of how they play, but asking them that you're going to end up having to do a little more. You might have to play, you might have to handle the ball more to take over a Page. You might have to take a couple more shots. You're going to have to, get a steal or two that she would get. So it's those little things that, you're trying to impart on them. And they've been great. They've been really receptive, and they're embracing it. So from my standpoint, it's been great to see.
Has Paige been fired from her coaching job yet? Has she gotten your nerves that bad yet, or?
Well, luckily she hasn't been around much. She's been, doing her rehab. So she hasn't been around, but she made a point today to walk over where I was to say, from this set we can also do this. I said, geez, I would have never thought of that, but thanks for bringing it up. So she did say she was going to try to impart a lot of words of wisdom. So I hope her wisdom gets a little wiser than the obvious things she said today.
Geno, do you get a sense from the rest of the team, a certain confidence that they believe they're one of the best teams in the country, that they're a national championship caliber team?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing we haven't thrown out there because what's the point? That's kind of in the back of their minds all the time, regardless of it was like that last year when when we were going through those 20 games when Paige didn't play. And to the point of we're a national championship contender until we get knocked out. If and when that day comes, then we won't be anymore. But today, October 14th, we have as good a chance of winning a national championship as anybody else. And we'll see where that takes us. Not as good a chance as we had in June, but we still have a chance.
Who do you think's going to win the dunk contest tonight? Patterson or someone from the men's team?
No, Yana's not going. She tweaked her ankle a little bit last week, and as with most young kids, she's not going to try anything that might force her to miss a couple days of practice. So she's really good at it, though. But I guess the fans are going to have to wait a little bit longer.
In the past, you've gone to like NBA teams and NBA coaches to look at different offenses and kind of just keep being a student of the game. Where are you finding inspiration this season to come up with new schemes about Paige?
Well, I mean, we can still do a lot of the things that we did when we had Paige. That doesn't have to change. It worked pretty well last year, but I think there may have to be a couple adjustments that you have to make. You may not be able to be as free-flowing and, let kind of everybody play off of Paige. So you might have to be more intentional in some things that you're trying to do. That's not necessarily the way I like to play. I like that free-flowing style of basketball. So other than that, there'll be some little new wrinkles that we put in. But in terms of the overall look, it's gonna look the same.
How has Nika looked in practice so far? Just
Good.
getting offense?
Today was a great day for her. I want to see like 10 days in a row of today. Then I'll feel a lot better. Because there really aren't a ton of experienced options at that point. That position or that responsibility. Not that we have specific point guard, two guard, that kind of stuff. But today she had a great day. And by a great day, I mean she led us. She organized us. She, got us into the stuff we wanted to get into. She took the right shot at the right time. She was able to, hold back from overdoing it, which is her tendency at times. So today I thought was a great day. If we could, as I said, if we could get a whole bunch of days like today from Nika, that would go a long way and make a lot of other guys feel real comfortable that they won't have to do even more than they're going to be asked to do.
Is Paige driving you crazy as a coach?
No, she hasn't. I was saying earlier, she hasn't been around much. So no. She can't come on the court, so she only wanders around the blue part of the court, So I just walk out to the middle of the floor, and that pretty much effectively takes her out of the equation.
Is she doing her rehab somewhere else? Is that what you said, or she's rehabbing just?
She spent some time out in California with some of the people that worked on Stewie when Stewie was rehabbing her injury. So she's been off and on.
Is that Borchard or someone else?
Susan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Susan's
Okay.
handling some of the other stuff, and then there's a PT that I think he works for the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams. I think he does a lot of work with them. So, she's done a lot here, and like I told her, I said I think the more people you see, the more hands-on people are with you, and she looks great. I mean, she looks great. As much as you can look great, hobbling around a little bit, but she does. She looks great.
How's Daisy looked? Is she kind of taking the reins a little bit more?
Yeah, she has. She has. She's one of the ones that we said it's going to be a lot on your shoulders. When you're that good a player and you have that kind of skill set, you should expect that there's going to be a lot on your shoulders. And she's handled it great. I mean, she wants that. She's very hard on herself, and that She wants to be that person that can have that kind of impact. And not just shooting the ball either, but in a lot of ways. I pretty much made her job kind of simple, Every time you touch it, shoot it. Every time you get a chance, try to score. And at the same time, that opens up a whole lot of things for everybody else. She attracts a lot of attention. So it's trying to take a lot of the guesswork out of what do I do, how do I do this, and it's worked out great. I'm really, really happy with where she is right now.
She said she feels.
What kind of difference have you seen in her with, just having the foot healthy now and her movement not hampered as much?
Well, we keep track of all the different dynamics that happen on the floor. Our strength and conditioning coach, Andrea Hootie, she pretty much monitors, every move that they make on the floor, and according to her statistics and her metrics, AZ is probably number one in the highest output of any kid on the team. So that says a lot about how she's feeling and how comfortable she is.
How are your four newcomers?
Good. Lou's been steady, like you would think, because she's played so much college basketball. So she's, she looks like she's been with us years, and we're going to be relying on her a tremendous amount. Ice has made incredible, progress in a short period of time, because she can do a lot. When you have a big kid that can shoot like the way she shoots it and has a feel for the game the way she does. So I'm thrilled with where she is. Ayanna had a little bit of a setback. She tweaked her ankle a little bit, so she's missed some time. But she had a great day today as well. And Ines, she's it's like I'm a glutton for punishment. It's just as I try to rehabilitate one European point guard, I got another one that I gotta. And when she's good, she's really good, and when she's not, she's trying to catch up, because this game's being played at a much faster, much more physical style than she's used to. But she surprises these guys a lot by how sneaky quick she is and what a good athlete she is, and so we didn't expect her to come in here and be Paige, and so she's been everything I expected her to be.
Does Lou's experience lend itself to more than just scoring? Obviously she scored a lot at Fairfield, but can you just see her really handling the game well?
She handles herself incredibly well. She's so mature, and she's the same every day. You can't underestimate how much a coach values that you're going to get the same thing every minute of every day that Lou's here. Nothing ever changes. There's no ups and downs with Lou. I had a little conversation with Joe Frager recently, and we're working on two things that Lou didn't have to do a lot of at Fairfield. Handling the ball and passing it. And she said, Coach, every play we ran was for me. And you can tell, because when she gets the ball, she just has a knack. Like, she knows exactly what shot she has to take and how to get it. It's just really fun to watch. So, I said recently, with Paige going down and not being able to play, if we didn't have Lou, it would be twice as bad. It's already really bad. It would be twice as bad if we didn't have Lou to pick up some of that slack.
Coach, how do you kind of use first night to kind of gauge where your team is? Obviously, it's a more laid-back atmosphere, but how do you use tonight?
Well, I just hope nobody gets hurt.
Right.
So nothing stupid is going to happen. I know that. I hope they have a great time. I hope the students get a kick out of seeing them. The kids get they get a lot of satisfaction out of going out and showing off for the fans and for their team, for their classmates. In the basketball terms, it's pointless. It's a truly pointless exhibit. And luckily, this year we're not playing. Some years we go out there and we play, and it's unwatchable, So today is going to be good. It's just a couple skill things, a lot of fun things. We had practice earlier today, and we got a lot done. And so tonight's just go out there, have some fun, enjoy yourself, and that's it. Nothing else. Well, no, when we play our first exhibition game, we have an exhibition game, not an exhibition game, we have a scrimmage on the 22nd. One of those that I can't tell you about until afterwards. So we'll know more then. So I don't know when that is, 14, 22, what's that, 8 days? So in about 8 days, I'll have a pretty good feel. Like I knew last year, right? Last year we played a scrimmage against BC. Caroline had 23 or 25, and AZ had 20-something, and you would think they were seniors. So right away, you knew these guys are going to be pretty good, So something will happen that day that will let us know who can do what. Because some kids just, when they're young, they don't know how to practice. But you put them in a game situation, and they're great.
How's Caroline been, speaking of Caroline?
Caroline's been good. Caroline's been good. And she's, again, another one where you have to, how fast do you want to push her, or proceed, I should say. How hard do you want, because she wants to go full. Because that's just how she is. But she's not allowed to go full because she's not ready 100% to go full. But the time that she's out there, she's the same Caroline. But her and Lou were on the floor together. It's fun. It's fun.
Coach,
Geno,
go ahead, Mike.
thanks. Further you get removed from 2016 and the string of 4 in a row, do you appreciate even more how remarkable that was to do something so difficult 4 times in a row and actually make it look easy?
Yeah.
Since then, there's been COVID, a couple buzzer beaters. It's been it's been wild.
Yeah.
And that was like so seamless, but wasn't. I know you've said in the past, like, that's not real though.
Yeah, it's not. And I think the further you get away from it, the more you realize it wasn't. It was a fantasy land that, that we created, And I had a conversation with one of our players recently, and I said, if you had to do it over again, what would you do differently in that national championship game last year? I said, you don't have to answer me, but if you're in that game again, what will you do differently? Think about that for yourself. Because when you're young, you think, I'll be in this game 4 years in a row. And there's no guarantee you will be. So you have to maximize every opportunity that you get. So now I really appreciate the opportunities that we get. Well, we've been to, 14 in a row, Final Fours?
Yeah.
Next streak is 2? Somebody's been there twice in a row. So it's hard as hell to get there, much less how hard is it to win it. And we're going to win another one. It's just a matter of when that is, But we're going to win another one. Sooner rather than later would be good for me.
It's probably been a healthy reminder for fans this last few years, like how it's not easy.
It's both, Mike. It's both. It's for the discerning fan. It's a reminder how hard this is. For the crazy fans, it's lock the doors at Worth. There's no point in practicing. They're never going to win again. The program is not what it used to be. Everybody sucks. So yeah, for the 95% of the fans that are realistic, they're starting to get a sense of how hard this is and how great it was to be able to do that for that many years. The other people, they'll come to their senses at some point.